Good morning, Internet. This is Alex the Sudokus, and it is Saturday, the 29th of August 2020. We have another hard New York Times Sudoku. Just a bit of prefacing. I actually solved this Sudoku first thing this morning, but as it turns out, I hit the record button the wrong number of times. I tend to do a test run in the morning to test the audio and video, and I must have messed up at one point, and I didn't actually record myself. And the worst thing is, I then try to solve this again, and I actually forgotten what I used, and for the life of me, I cannot figure out how I solved the puzzle in the end. And maybe I actually made a mistake first thing in the morning, but I have no way of knowing because I have no video evidence of it. And I ended up resorting to auto candidates mode just to see what I missed, but the logic that I found from it wasn't the logic that I used this morning. So I'm still gonna. I've kind of sat down for a bit. I did the medium puzzles now, and I thought I'll have another go at it. We'll just have to see how it goes. But if I get stuck again, I am just gonna use the auto candidate mode to show what how the puzzle unlocks basically at that stage. So apologise in advance if I have to do that. I just kind of thought I need to state this, but it seems like I'm on the fringe of some breakthrough in terms of my solves, basically. So anyway, let's have a look. I'm going to speed up a little bit because, okay, I've got one over here. Because I think most people, if you're looking at hearts, I'm hoping that you know the basic techniques of finding the singles and understanding how I lock the pairs into positions. I will still mention it a little bit. So these two ones locks a pair, but I won't go through like this one sees those cells, that one sees those cells. I'm just going to state which numbers I'm using. If that's becoming too fast, then what I'll recommend is you can play videos back at slower speed, and that may help a little bit in terms of so these two threes locks a pair of threes up there, and it may help a bit. And if I'm going too slowly for you, highly recommend you just speed up my video. I don't know what happens to my voice if you speed it up, because I've already changed the pitch of my voice now, so it may end up really high pitched. So anyway, these two fours gives me another pair, and these two fours gives me a pair over there, in turn giving me another pair down there. So yeah, I'm feeling like I need to change my fives locks a pair of fives, changing my pacing a little bit to hopefully make my video shorter, and hopefully just gets to where you need to solve the puzzle, basically. So sixes. I may also look into giving timestamps on where to go in terms of these two sevens, locking a pair of sevens, using timestamp to state when I finish my first round of pencil markings, and so you can jump forward a bit. These two eights locks an 8 here, meaning another pair of 8s is down there. So I will be experimenting going forward just to see what I can do. So these two 9s locks a pair of 9s there, and these two 9s locks a pair. So I think that's round 1 done. So let's look at I can't remember if I did another round or not, but basically at this stage I noticed I placed an 8 was the last number, so I just went through from 1 to 7s again. So I think I did place more pencil marks. So let's see, 2, 2. Yes, I placed a pair of 3s up there because I tried to look at that 8 and see what I can find. So that resolves as a pair of 2s and 5s. And those 2s, do they do anything? No. 5s? No. I thought that helps me do more pencil marking, but I think I'm mistaken in that. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3s, 3, 3, 3s, 4s, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5s, already pencil marked over there, so 5, 6, 6s, can't see anything, 7s, so 7, 7, 7, no, can't see anything, 8s, 2, 2, 2, 9s, 9, 9, 9. Okay, so I've just gone through the board. I've done more pencil marking, so I've done 2 rounds of notations, and I'm now stuck. So what I did next was count the weak numbers. They're quite a lot today. We've got, let's see, 2s. Got 2 2s. Where are the 3s? We've got 3 3s, 3 4s. I've got 2 5s, so 2 5, 2 6s, 2 7s, so 2 5 6 7. I've got 3 8s and 3 9s, so the weak numbers are 2 5 6 and 7. So I went around the board, but the thing is that with 4 numbers it's quite hard to find areas that they all interact. This is one of them. It's either 2 5 6 and 7. In fact 2 5 6 and 7, but I couldn't find any naked digits from there. And I think I did find another interaction of the 4 numbers, or did I? I can't remember now. 2 5 6 and 7, so 5 6 and 7 interacts on that cell, but we don't see a 2. Maybe I used a pointed pair of 2s. No, I can't see anything. So being unable to use the weak numbers to deduce a weak number, I ended up eliminating one of the weak numbers, and my plan was to go up from 2, eliminate the 2, so just look at 5 6 and 7 and see if I can find a 2, and then the plan was to, and then use 2 6 and 7s, and then use 2 5 and 6, so taking out one of the numbers at a time. I have to admit I kind of like took out a 2 first, because it's easier to look for 5 6 and 7, because just psychologically felt a bit easier. But also on this row we've got 5 6 and 7, and we already know 2 doesn't go in those cells, so we only have 3 cells to look at. And I ended up looking at the most populated column, because you want as many interactions as possible. So I've got 1 in this cell. I can see 1 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So as it turns out, very luckily I managed to find the 2 quite quickly, and using that 2, it allows me to do pencil markings down here because of these 2s, and these 2s also locks a pair of 2s up there, unlocking a 6 for us, and that locks another pair of 6s over there. And then I think I looked at this cage, so what sees into these cells? Let's see, a 7 sees into these 2 cells, locking a pair of 7s down here. Let's see, 3 6 2. The 8 sees into these cells, so an 8 is up there. What else? I think that's it. So, oh, and the 9 sees into these 2 cells, so locking a pair of 9s there. So I think we'll go from here, but I think that I didn't notice, not straight away, but I started scanning around the board, so maybe I'll do that now just to see if we can do more pencil markings in. So I think if I focus on where the 6, and this is where I kind of spotted something. Basically I was looking down these columns, so 1 2 3 4 5, so 5 can't go there, 5 has to be there, but they're in 2 different cages, so not going to pencil mark them in. 5 7 sees that cell, so 7 has to be down here, not going to pencil mark them in. And what was the other number? 2 3 4 5 5 7, oh, and 8. So 8 can go in any of the 3 cells, so I didn't pencil mark them in. But then when I look horizontally, I spotted this 7 and 9, 7 and 9. So I had to have a pause and think to see, does that mean anything to us? Well, yes, because it does mean that the 7 and 9s are acting as a pair within this row, basically. They are a matching pair. I was trying to think like if there are any other logics, but basically in this cage we can't have a 7 and 9 in this cell anymore, so I think it does basically force the 7 and 9 having to be in these two cells, basically. At least in this instance, these 3 cells are already locked out of 7 and 9s anyway, and that can't be a 7 or 9. So I hope that makes sense. But if these 3 cells were free to play, I would be less confident in knowing whether these 7-9 pairs are correct or not, because I suppose other numbers can go into these cells in theory. So I think I need to revisit the logic at some point, probably not whilst recording, but it just so happened that in the middle cage, all the 3 cells are out of play anyway, and I've got a pair of 7 and 9s, so that means only this cell is in play where I can put numbers in, and it can't be 7 or 9, because I've already got 7s and 9s pencil marked in within this cage. So therefore I've got 3, 4, 7, 9, so that has to be 2 or 5. Well, I've got 2 down there, so therefore that has to be a 5, which means that's now a 2 and a 5. So now the 5s are locked into these cells, creating a 5-8 pair. So now I've just resolved the 9 and the 7, and that 7 sees into that cell, unlocking the 7 and 9 over there, and that was quite a lot of movements very quickly, basically. So now I've got a single cell that's in play on the top row. It has to be 2 or 3 because 5 and 8 pair locks those cells in. Well, again, that 2 acts on that cell, so there has to be a 3, and there has to be a 2, and there has to be a 3. So now, let's see. I've got a pair of 2s and 6s in here, and 2 has to go there, and a 6. So this 2 ended up being really powerful, helping me resolve 1, 2, basically the entire cage and multiple digits over there. And I think this is when I ended up getting stuck. I got past this the first time, and for the life of me I can't figure out what I need to do next. So I really appreciate any comments from anyone who at this stage was able to unlock the puzzle. And I think the trouble is, like, I've been trying this so many times. I tried this like a second time, couldn't solve it, and then I just kind of like turned off the camera, but turned off the recording, and I just kept trying at it, and I just could not break through. I couldn't make a breakthrough until I used the auto candidates. So let's just see. Let's do more pencil markings first. So 1s, we haven't got anything else. 2s. 2, 2, 2s are locked in there, 2, 2, 2, 2, so 2s are locked in here as well, because of that 2, locking this row, and these two 2s, 3s, 3, 3, 3, so 3s and 3 possible cells, no use for us, 3, 3, so 3s are in these 2 cells because of these 3s and that 3, 4s, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. I don't think I've got anything on 4s. 5s. 5s are in there and there. No use for us. 6s. 6 are in there. 6, 6. 3 cells. No good. 7. 7's locked in this column. But not really restricted in the other cages. 8. 8s, we've already pencil marked them in. 8s, but they are basically free roaming all around the board. 9s are locked in this column. 9, 9, 9 in this column, and 4 possible cells there. So yeah, we're not getting anywhere. Let's look at these 4s. Actually, look at the triple 1, 4, and I know I'm not going to get anywhere with this because I tried this before already. These are 1, 4, and 8. So this is 1 and 8. I think what I may do is buck the convention a little bit. I am going to pencil mark them in. So 1, 8. This is 4 and 8, and this is 1, 4, and 8. And here I've got 5, 8 and 5, 8 and 7. So this can be 7 and 8, 7, 8 and 5. So not very useful. What about this triple? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are 6, 7 and 9. So 6, 7 and 9. Can be all three of them. Can be 6 and 7. Can be 6, 7 and 9. And now all the triple areas are already pencil marked in. So we can't see anything from here. So I think we need to look at the quadruples. So I think in theory, this is where we would have solved this. But let's pencil mark in the quadruple areas. Let's see, these are 1, 4, 1, 3. So 3 can't go there, 3 can go in there. Pardon me. 4s can go there and there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 can go there, can go there, can't go there, and can go there. So not useful at all. And then quadruple area down here. 1, 5, 8. I don't know if I'm going to use this technique in the future, but so ones are locked in here. So these are 1, 5, 1, 4, 5, and 8. So 4 can't go there. 4 can go here and here. 5 can't go there. 5 can go here, and 8 can't. Well, can go there, but 8 can go in all of these cells. Oops, I put in 6 instead of 8. So 8. And I think this is where we would have had our breakthrough if basically this is not how I normally do candidates, because I actually looked at I even looked at the strong numbers, the 3s and 9s and the 7s and 9s, 7 and 3s, and I couldn't find my normal strong number hidden pairs. But I guess if I were to reverse engineer the solve today, this is how I would have potentially engineered the solve, because if I start pencil marking in the triples and the quadruples, I would have stumbled upon this 1 and 8. The problem is with New York Times, it's not obvious. I can't do center candidates versus corner notations, so it's not immediately transparent to me that I've created a 1-8 pair, basically. But basically, these cells are all locked candidates. There can't be anything else, so I've actually got a 1-8 pair. So that means this cell now cannot be an 8 anymore, and we can't have any 1s or 8 in these cells anymore. I don't know if that plays into other things. So this is basically as far as I got to. I used auto candidates to spot this, but and I figured if I were to reverse engineer this solve, that's the way I would have solved it. I'll be really interested to know any other methods you could have used to solve this puzzle. But anyway, using that, I can deduce a 7 there. So I still don't know if this is going to help me solve the puzzle, by the way, because I didn't move on further from this. I just kind of felt I was completely cheating at this point. So anyway, these two 7s, and that 7 locks a pair of 7s there. So now we have an actual pair of 7s. See, this is the danger now, because I'm now thinking that this is a pointer pair of 7s that looks up here to erase the 7, but that's not the case at all, so I mustn't do that. So let's see, does a 7 help us in any way at all? So 7, so I'm missing 1, 2, 3. I feel like I almost want to pencil mark in all the candidates now, because otherwise I'm risking confusions, basically. So 9s go in the middle, 4s can't go there, so the 4 can still go here. So those are the candidates here, but we know that 8 can't go there because of the 1-8 pair. So does that mean there has to be a 9 now then? I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It can't be an 8, so that has to be a 9 now. So already, like, this approach just feels really confusing for me. So I just need to be extra careful. So now 9s are actually, yeah, 9s were already locked in those cells anyway. So let's see. So does this have to be a 4? Can't be a 5. So I'm left with 1, 4, 5 and 8. So I can see 1, 5 and 8. So that is indeed a 4. So okay, so that 4 knocks out that 4, meaning that has to be a 4 now. And so these 4s are also locked in. Can I do more with that? Yes, this 4 now locks those cells, and that already can't be a 4, so 4 has to go here, which resolves the 4 and the 8 over here. So that 1 and 8, oops, are now resolved, meaning I've got 1 and 5 over there, and this has to be a 5, that has to be an 8, and this has to be a 5. So maybe in the future I will be using this approach when I get stuck. I don't historically do that because I feel like I'm going to confuse myself by doing that, by pencil marking in the columns and the rows. But I think when you're desperate, it may be worth doing. I think some of you may already be thinking like, oh my god, why are they so dumb? Why is Alex not doing the obvious? You should already have been doing that in the first place. But I guess I'm just using methods that works for me. How I solve Sudoku is by no means the best method at all. But yeah, I'm just hoping like the way I approach the puzzles does offer some help to others in some way or form. Oh yeah, that can't be a 1 anymore. So can it be anything else? So these are 1, 3 and 9. I can see a 9, I can see a 1, so that has to be a 3. So 3 is taken out of there, locking a pair of 3s down there. 3, so that can't be a 3 anymore, so that has to be a 3, which resolves the 2, I want to say. 2, 2, yes, it does resolve the 2, and the 1 as well, yes it does. So this 2 also locks a pair of 2s there, and I've got a pair of 9s locked in those cells, so that can't be 6 or 7 anymore. And this is where the danger comes in, because I now am inclined to think that there has to be a 7 or there has to be a 6, but it's not, because I haven't pencil marked in all the 6s in this cage at all. So let's have a look. These can all be 6s and these can all be 7s. So what about 9s? I've got the 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4s have to be down here. 5s haven't pencil marked in 5, so 5s can go in these cells, but actually the 5 has to go here anyway because of that 5, so those can't be 5s, and that can't be a 5 either actually, so that locks a 5 in there and doesn't do anything else for us. But I think that sort of 5's done now, so let's move on to 6. These are 6s and 7s. Does that help us at all? Not really, no. What about this triple? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 8 and 9. So 6s are down here. 8s are also down here, meaning there has to be a 9 now. Oops, 9. So that can't be a 9, meaning that resolves the 1 and 9. And I think that's the last one. What about 9s now? 9s are now locked in these 2 cells. And yeah, so we've got an X-wing of 9s. So where else is weak? Well, we've got 2, 3, so oh yeah, there's an 8 here, so that can't be an 8, it has to be resolvable. So 6 and 8 are now resolved. 8, 8. So is that a 2, 9 pair? Yes it is, so there has to be 7 or 6. Doesn't help me actually. Yeah, all these 3 cells can be 7s or 6s, so so 2 C's into that cell, so 2 and 9 are resolvable. So with that in mind, that can't be a 9 anymore, 9 has to go here, so 7s and 6s are resolvable now, which means that's a 7. So these can't be 7 anymore. So 8, 4, 6, 7, 6 are all resolved. That forces a 7 in here because of these 7s, and these 6s forces a 6 and 8 there. That 2 resolves the 2 and 3, and that 3 resolves the 4 and 3. So that's today's hard New York Times Sudoku. I don't feel this has been a truly legit solve, but at least through the reverse engineering, I have a new strategy, I suppose, that I'm going to try out in the future if I get stuck anymore. So I hope it does shed some insight. But otherwise, I shall see you tomorrow. Yeah, just lost with... My mind has just gone blank because of the frustrations that I've had today. I'm also kind of playing around with my audio a bit, so I'm hoping it sounds okay. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good weekend. Bye!